Hey guys, this is Lisa with your weekly Lyrical Aspirations inspirational message. So today I just want to touch on it a little bit on how we can treat each other better. And I started really thinking about this topic a couple of days ago, and it kind of got stuck in my head for a little bit because I started to wonder, why is it that we tend to treat the people that we're closest to worse than we treat strangers? And for a while, I couldn't get out of my head about it. I thought, it doesn't make any sense to me. But then I realized why. See, a stranger is somebody that we don't expect to see again. Somebody passing us in the road, we don't anticipate that we'll see them again. But the people closest to us, we do anticipate that we'll see them again. We think, well, we'll be able to rectify it. I know I got nasty with them this morning, but I'll apologize to them later tonight. But guess what? Time is not promised to anybody. And there's a potential every single time that you treat people bad, there's a potential that either that's going to be the last thing that comes out of your mouth, or it could be the last thing that they hear, because it's not promised that they're going to be there when you get home from work or when you get home from wherever, or when you call them on the phone 20 minutes later, 45 minutes later, 17 days later, whatever the case may be, to say, you know what, I really shouldn't have treated you that way. I'm sorry. Time is not promised. We have to start treating people better today, right now, because it's not guaranteed. So how do we do that? How do we start treating both the people that are closest to us better, as well as the people that we don't even know? Well, the first thing that we have got to do, it's imperative, is we got to leave our judgments behind us. We have no right to go through here, through our life, and judge other people. Because once you start judging somebody, the way that you speak to them, the way you look at them, the way that you treat them is going to change. Now, please don't mistake me when I speak about not judging people. Don't bring in things that extreme, like violence or murder or something. I'm not even talking about that. What I am talking about is just how we interact with the people in our lives on a regular basis. And to do that, you've got to remove the judgments. People are going to fall, stumble, make mistakes. You are too. You have too. So there is no place for judgment. And absolutely the worst thing in the whole wide world that you can do when somebody is already down is give them a swift kick of "I told you so." Guys, that's unnecessary. "I told you so" statements are judgmental statements. It's like, well, I told you, but you still went and did it, so it's on you. You just can't treat people like that. Every one of us has been down or may be down tomorrow. Maybe we're still down right now, and we don't deserve that type of behavior or treatment towards each other. So remove the judgments from you. You have no right to judge. Your life is not perfect. You are not perfect, so stop judging. The second thing that we can do, and this is actually harder than it sounds, and that is, we got to start actively listening to each other. See, right now, when we listen to each other, a majority of us are actively thinking, not actively listening. We are thinking of how we're going to reply while that person's talking, and I promise you, you're going to miss a couple of things that they say. But by actively listening to somebody and taking the time to really focus in on what they're saying will make them feel more amazing than you can even imagine. It'll make them feel appreciated, respected, and maybe even loved, just by actively listening. And if they're saying something that you may not like to hear, that's okay. but actively listen until they're done. Be respectful enough to give people the opportunity to express their thoughts and their feelings to you if you are the person that they chose to share those with. There's nothing wrong with letting somebody know, hey, if you need something, you let me know. Call me. Let me know anytime. I'm here to listen, anytime that you need to talk. So just actively listen to each other. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about is the last thing that we can do is we can just be kinder to each other. And kind gestures are not extravagant gestures. They are small. They are not going out and spending $10,000 on somebody. But I mean, if somebody wants to spend $10,000 on me, don't worry, I won't turn it down. But what I'm saying is that's not what I mean by treating someone kind. Giving someone the gift of kindness is everything in this world. And you can do that just by smiling at somebody when they happen to look at you. They could be a stranger. Or maybe when you walk into work, you just say, good morning, or have a good night, or hope everything's okay, hope you feel better, whatever it may be. Just throw out some positive statements to people so that they know that you are being kind to them. And just here's an example, because I don't think that sometimes we realize that we are actually impacting a lot of people, good and bad, that will never cross our paths again. So they're strangers, right, that we encounter on the road. And if we're kind to them, then we may have a positive impact on them. And if we're not kind, then we may have a negative impact. And I'm going to give a story as an example to this and how simple it is to be kind and the huge impact that it makes on people. See, every day I used to ride a toll road to work. And one day I just decided, this is getting way too expensive. I'm just going to take the regular interstate. And I did that for a couple of months. But then this one morning I was running late. And so I was like, I'm going to jump on the toll road. It's faster. And so I go down on this toll. I pull up to the toll booth. And the lady immediately says, oh my gosh, where have you been? Now, at first, I was a little confused because I had no idea who this lady was. I didn't recognize her. So I thought for a moment, maybe she thinks I'm somebody else. So I said, what do you mean? Where have I been? And she goes, well, you used to come through here every morning, and now I never see you. And I thought, what? This lady has a memory like I ain't never seen. I mean, it's thousands of people that go through that toll. How in the world did she remember me? And she actually noticed that I stopped coming. Like, good Lord, this lady has an amazing memory. And then I said, how in the world did you remember me? And she said, you are the only person that came through here and said good morning and thank you every day. The only person out of thousands of people? How is this possible, guys? We have got to start being kinder to each other. And we have to be kinder to each other even when there's not a tragedy. Oh, I mean, you guys know what happens after hurricanes, or let's even take it as far as to say like 9/11. Man, after 9/11, ooh, people were so nice to each other. They were blessing each other every time I turned around, speaking, waving, smiling. I mean, the unity that tragedy creates is amazing. But why do we need a tragedy to treat each other good? The fact that we know how to treat each other good after a tragedy tells me that I don't even know if I need this video because we already know how to do it. We're just not doing it. We're allowing our own lives to let us get wrapped up in our heads, and we forget the basic things that we already know how to do. So go out here and treat people as if tomorrow was not promised, as if within the next 5 minutes there was going to be a tragedy of a great scale that was going to affect this entire country. That's how you treat people every day. And when you start putting out that beautiful treatment and you start treating people that way, oh, y'all, it's just going to boomerang right back around and smack you. Those same people out there in the world that are putting good out, it's going to start coming back to you little by little by little. So put out that positivity, put out that helpfulness, that non judgmental behaviors, put those out into the world because you're not promised tomorrow. They're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised an opportunity to apologize. So make sure that you do it up front. So go out here, treat people amazing, and make this an amazing week for you and the people that you encounter. And make sure that you come back and check me out next week.